Hey, welcome everybody to episode 7.5/8 of the Covering All Topics podcast. Trying something a little new today. AJ and I, as well as a special guest we'll introduce in a minute, are currently on our favorite training program, Zwift. And frequenters of the podcast will know we've talked about it several times before. It's our virtual cycling program that we meet up on and get our training in indoors through the Supercross season and the cycling off season. So, how you doing, AJ?
Not too bad. So don't mind the heavy breathing. We're going to try to keep it a slow pace so we're not breathing your guys' ears. But yeah, I'll give you all our thoughts on what's going to play out this season. Maybe talk a little smack on Zwift here. We're going to hit a sprint section every once in a while. And I think there's like 1,300 people that have done it. So it should be pretty cool to see where we stack up.
Yeah, so for listeners of the podcast, we're going to post the video stream to what we're actually doing. We're recording the whole session that we're doing right now. And this is really just a kind of an experiment / an introduction of what it is and kind of see what we're doing and when we talk about it. And we're going to post a link to it, and you guys can watch, follow along. Definitely encourage that. But please don't mind the breathing, as we are going to exert ourselves at some point here, working through some fitness. So our special guest today is AJ Whitrock. AJ is a friend of ours and virtual friend to many through Zwift. And he's also supported AJ as his mechanic in a lot of the East Coast round in 2018. So he's intimately familiar with AJ's program, the bike, and Supercross in general, and is also a big fan. What's up, AJ?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Oh, hey, look, it's Jason Anderson. Oh, no.
Make sure we all go left here.
Left, yes.
And
so people,
AJ
we are going to be
brought on the program to cause confusion. So let's refer to AJ as Akeem for the rest of this episode.
Sure, yes. And
you guys
he
both go
already
right?
went the wrong way.
Oh, man.
What a loser.
So we'll let him catch up to us.
All right.
So this is going to be this episode is going to be kind of our Supercross 2019 preview show. As the season is, it's coming up. We're less than 5 days away now. It is Tuesday, New Year's Day, and AJ, you fly out tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. It all begins. It comes so fast every year.
Yep.
Sure does.
But this is our last little bit. And you guys have been on here for a little while as I've been working through the technical stuff trying to actually record this. So forgive me. If you can see on the right-hand side, it gives your current mileage and current wattage output per kilogram. I'm only 4 miles in. And AJ, another AJ, who will be affectionately referred to as Akeem from now on, they've been on this for a while as I work through this. So I'm catching up to them. Although we're not going to kill ourselves today.
Akeem, what are you, 34? 33?
Yeah, 34. 34 on the dot.
Solid.
AJ, are we going straight, right? What are we doing?
Right to the main loop.
All right.
Correct?
That's fine with me. We could always circle back if we want to hit that sprint. But I think we should chat a little bit before we do that.
No worries. All right, so let's hop right into something that Akeem and I were just talking about before you got on the phone. Benny Bloss, torn ACL.
Ooh.
Bogle filling in. Did you hear about that?
I sure did.
Thoughts?
We'll see. I mean, Justin started riding a little bit better towards the end of last season, but kind of waiting for him to step up. I think I saw him on the bike in one of the Instagram posts. Looks comfortable, looks good. We'll see what happens.
I'm curious as to. I think that's a. Go ahead, Akeem.
I'd say the guy can get his start. Like a small hint of Michael Alessi there.
That is true, so especially outdoors. He gets a lot of hole shots in outdoors. But that's actually
he's almost
a comparable matchup. Him and Bloss is very underrated, but very fast.
Yeah. Well, I would say Justin is one of those guys who's personally, he got brought up to the 450s. Was he ready, in your opinion, AJ?
He was brought up at a tough time, and he's
one of the hardest.
And you guys want to slow the pace a little bit up there?
Sure.
I'm going to start heavy breathing. Also, it's tough for a guy like him because not to say he's not a top guy, but he's really right on that cusp of, a 6th to 12th place 450 main event rider. And that puts you in a tough spot. I mean, that puts you like teeter-tottering on the edge of having a ride and not having a ride. And you saw that this year. I mean, yeah, he can go out full shot and outdoor and ride top 5 in an outdoor event, but it's tough. A lot of these people kind of have found their niche on teams like Benny Bloss really seems to have a good spot on that KTM team. A lot of these guys are really like in there. There's no room. And that's the crazy part. That's why you see guys like Martin Davalos ride the 250 class their entire career.
Right.
Because why would you move up?
Right.
I mean, we talked about in the beginning of the episodes, maybe 1 or 2. It's just so stacked. 450 is unbelievably stacked. Right. And I think this season's going to be especially exciting because look, if Tomac doesn't take it, it's Tomac's to lose, in my opinion. With him, the way he rode last year, with him riding outdoors the way he did and just absolutely commanding it, it's his to lose. So he's got an uphill battle mentally to overcome the pressure of that, because I think he's probably the most aware of that fact more than anybody. Is he's the superior rider on a 450 right now. But having said that,
was also the case the last 2 years, though.
Right, and so that was my next point. Having said that, I think that makes him especially vulnerable to mistakes. Like, I think that pressure is haunting him. I think it's eating him. So what I would speculate is if he gets thrown off a little bit, it's going to throw him off a lot. So whereas other people might be able to overcome a small mistake, I think it's going to just get in his head. That's just me thinking. But the field behind him, though, it's anybody's guess. I want to see what Malcolm Stewart does on a Honda. I think listening to some other analysis of what he's going to do coming into this season, he's going to be a guy to watch for sure. And speaking of Honda, Ken Roczen is definitely coming back with something to prove. So I think you're going to have a couple of fast Honda guys.
Yeah, and I think definitely. Malcolm actually having preparation and being on a team well before the season starts, I think that's big for him. It seems like Malcolm in the past has come in with either little to no preparation, not knowing where he was going to be, hopping a fill-in ride last minute. I think that Moto Concepts team is pretty darn good. So that should be interesting. Roczen, of course, is going to be fast. I'm all out of breath because you guys are pedaling 2.3 and you keep slowly pulling away. Make sure you're going 1.5 here. Because I'm trying to sit up, keep my head away from the my crank so I don't make any noise. All right, what would be? I want to hear from both of you. We should write this down somewhere. Give me your top 5 in points for 50 class. No, not points. A1. Top 5 A1.
A1
plus.
I'm just gonna go right off the top of my head. I'm gonna go rapid fire. I'm saying Tomac. I'm going Roczen. I'm going Musquin, Barsha, and what is that? 3 or 4? 4. And then I would say Malcolm Stewart, or no, Anderson.
What about you, Akeem?
That's pretty good. That's right along the same lines. I'd say Tomac, Roczen. I'd probably put Barsha in 3rd, Musquin 4th, and maybe, man, that 5th spot. I mean, that's anybody. Man, I'll throw a wild card. I'd say Plessinger.
Plessinger.
Gonna do.
You know what? as we're sitting here, Savachi, Monster Energy Cup, I think impressed a lot of people, and
Unreal.
himself probably just as much as anybody else. I mean, that's another one to throw into the mix. It's gonna be tough. I'm gonna do the fantasy picks, but man, I think you're just as much or just as likely to win with luck, the fantasy, than anything.
I mean, especially an A1 pick. Like, who knows? It seems
Who
like
knows?
History has shown after the first couple of rounds, riders kind of become a little bit complacent, and you settle for your position. So it's a little bit easier to guess where riders are going to be. But round one, you never know. You really never know. I do think Roxon's going to be really, really fast.
And I want him to be. I want to throw that out there. I'm a Roxon fan.
Same.
And to come back the way he's come back, it definitely shows how gritty he is. Damn it. I mean, he deserves it. He puts in the work. I love watching him ride. He's had some unfortunate luck. But it's funny how AJ, where do you put Anderson coming off the championship, coming off a strong outdoor performance? I mean, we all kind of just wrote him off for even the podium at A1.
Yeah.
Do you think the pressure's going to get?
I don't know why.
Me neither. I might revise. I might put I put Anderson on the podium above.
There's just so
who did
many.
I say? Musquin. I think he beats Musquin.
Yeah.
Did I pick a winner? Did I pick mine yet?
Oh, you gotta give us your thought.
I'll say Anderson for the win. I'll say Musquin 2. I'm gonna go Barsha 3 because Barsha's one of those that can really come out swinging.
Tomac off the podium for you.
Yeah. Well, Tomac for me is either going to be a win or a crash of some sort. So if I don't pick Tomac first, I'm most likely not going to pick him at all.
Gotcha.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's fair.
Who the heck? No one.
Because that's what he did last year. That's what he's done.
Yeah. No one could accurately guess that. I mean, as far as not like, I'm going to my 10th season as a pro. I follow the sport more closely than anybody, and my pick doesn't mean crap. I don't have a clue. Much better off being able to pick an accurate 250 rider over the 450.
But there's, you know what? This season, I get excited every year, but this season, I think has the potential to be a really great one. I mean, Chad Reed on a factory bike. We talked about how cool that was in one of the episodes before, maybe one or two. But it's really unfortunate. Obviously, everybody's buddy Weston Pike, who's still recovering. And Chad Reed was able to kind of slip into there and secure the factory ride for 2018 as a result, or 2019. But I think it's awesome to see Chad Reed on a factory bike.
And I totally forgot about him. I bet you he will be fast too, because he's also
right.
Everyone rides off that confidence, but there's specific guys that when they catch fire, they really catch fire. And obviously Chad Reed's one of them. I mean,
well, he's coming in prepared. Last season, I think even he would admit he came in not knowing what his program was going to be, putting it together from scratch, out of shape.
He looks about 15 pounds lighter.
Way lighter. He's got the backing now. And I think he has the mental commitment that comes with being on a factory team. I'm excited to see what he does. I really am. It's awesome how well he still does and how relevant he still is. And
unreal.
I think it does incredible things for the sport and the longtime fans of it. Anybody who knows it, it's just great to see. And on the flip side, you got Dean Wilson, who finds himself off of a factory team with factory support, kind of. And AJ, you can maybe talk about the intricacies of that, because a lot of people might not understand. You see him on a Rockstar Energy Husqvarna bike, but he's in his own van and got some interesting sponsors. So why don't you fill everybody in on?
I'm pretty good friends with Dean. I text him on regularly. So I was picking his brain on what was going on, asking him if he needed any support as far as throwing his bike in our sprinter van, anything like that. And for a long time, he didn't know. So for a guy like him, he knew. You guys want to? Oh, you're slowing down.
Yeah,
Go
I'm
right
slowing
here?
down, and well, Richmond Park. I'm not going up any hills during this episode.
Okay. Wait, so we're going
Right.
Going right.
Got it. He said he thought he was getting Husky support. So what he means by that is he's not on the team, but he's getting bikes and he's probably getting access to some factory parts.
He's got a factory motor. He showed
Yeah.
that in his Instagram.
Oh, does he? For sure.
Yeah, in his Instagram post, he's talking about at least a factory motor.
He's got good stuff. He's got the best of the best equipment, really. I mean, he's probably missing a couple parts off that bike, but really it's very insignificant.
And for the average fan, it's indistinguishably different. I mean, it looks exactly the same for the average person. So, I texted you when I saw. I was like, "So, explain to me how this is all working." And why don't you do that for everybody?
So he's putting together his own program. It looks like I am. The only difference is, he's getting factory support. Also, his sponsors are obviously footing a lot more of a bill than mine would be. So when you see somebody on a guy like that's jersey, on the graphics, on the helmet, they're paying a good chunk of money. So I'd be willing to bet his budget is pretty good. Nothing like a factory team, which is a few million. I bet you his budget's probably a couple $100,000. Again, this is total guess, but I know where my budget lies.
That Mercedes van isn't cheap. And
is it a Mercedes one too? Yeah, I saw a picture of it. It looks insane. He's going to have a good setup. He's going to be fast. I think when you put anybody in that situation, you saw it with Barsha, kind of puts a little chip on their shoulder.
You have something to prove at that point.
And other than his injuries, Wilson has been freaking fast. It's just been he gets hurt. So he's another one. I mean, I think Dean could come out and be a top 5, top 3 guy, no problem. Man, I wish I was riding the 250 class. Part of my technique, part of my little mental trick is I don't look at, like, I even got a text from my dad. Hey, did you see the entry list? Pretty stacked, huh? I was like, no, I didn't see the entry list. Why would I look at that? Because guess what's going to happen? You're going to look at the entry list and just start counting.
Yourself up. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I'm 20 riders in, and they're all factory. What does that leave? 2 spots? You can't do that to yourself. So I'm not worried about it. I think the pack naturally thins itself out, which sad to say, and you don't wish anybody to get hurt, but at the same time, it's going to happen.
Yep.
I'm just going to go out and try to be as consistent as I can, not pay attention to any names, but I tell you what, every year we say it's the most stacked year, and then it gets harder and harder and harder.
I want to take Ryan Villapoto in his prime, and I want to put him on the track at A1. And I want to see what happens. I really do.
I know.
I think that'd be because, he obviously had a lot of great competition when he was at his prime. Right now, man, like, think about it. 2 years ago, I would have said Dungey on the podium every race, and you could have practically bet your life on that, and he delivers. And last year was tough, but I think Anderson came out swinging, and it was something that you had a pretty decent bet on. But this year, man, I don't know. And you got
what you see too is when that door opens. When that door opens, you see people step their game up, right?
True.
Like when a guy like Dungey steps down, and next thing you know, it's like, wait, whose is this? Whose is this to take? Everyone gets that little glimmer of hope, and next thing you know, guys like Muskin, Anderson, Barsha, Tomac was already there, obviously, just inconsistency. All of these guys start stepping their game up. Next thing you know, you have 6 title contenders.
Right.
Well, talking about Dungey and his vacancy and where we're left, we'll circle back around to this. We've chatted about it before. Brock Tickle, obviously not racing this season. And Webb is stepped in. Webb is on Factory KTM. And when that happened, look, I don't know Cooper Webb. Sure, he's a nice guy. Just as a race fan, for some reason, he rubs me the wrong way. I used to love watching him on 250s, battle it out. But I don't know. It's
He's
like one
always
of those
had an
weird.
attitude, though.
Yeah,
He's
it's
always
just,
had that Forkner.
I think he has like resting bitch face or something. Because even when you see him in the pits, like I don't know, he's never looked happy to me. But at any rate, so I'm a KTM fan. I love KTM's. I have KTM's. It's a bike I ride. It's a team I support. Not sure how big a fan I am of Cooper Webb on KTM. But we'll see how he does. I mean, he's obviously talented and skilled and worthy of a factory team. We'll just see how he handles it.
I mean, yeah, another one. Like, I keep forgetting names. If I sat here and I don't have any type of list in front of me, you keep bringing up names, and I'm like, oh, forgot about him.
Well, speaking of that, let's talk about Justin Brayton. Justin Brayton's another guy who everybody kind of wrote him off. Everybody wrote him off. Then he absolutely kills it at Daytona. I mean, kills it. Which way are we going, guys? London?
London.
We'll go right to London.
Yeah. Didn't he just wrap up the Australian title too?
Yeah,
a month
Brayton's
or two ago?
been winning everything.
Yep.
So it's not like
been
he's
killing
been
all
off
those
the bike.
overseas.
Right.
So we'll see. Smart Top's got a nice little program going.
Yeah, they do.
We'll see what happens. I'm excited.
All right, once we're over this hill, back off of 2.
Yeah, I'm
like
going to
1.5 and under. Because I'm trying to keep my bike quiet. I got to bring this thing to the bike shop. It's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, AJ is not known for routine maintenance, so please forgive him.
I actually just lubed my chain, and I was telling, for the purpose of this episode, we could just call me Cat, and we'll call other AJ. I was talking
I will not
to
call
AJ.
you Cat. I will call you Albert.
Oh, Albert. Okay. Yeah, that's even better. I told AJ, I'm like, I don't think I've lubed my chain in like 500 miles. And I thought it would fix my problem, but no, I'm still squeaking away over here.
All right, so we've handled the big name guys at least a little bit, scratch the surface. Let's talk about I hate to use the term the bottom end of the field, but because I don't mean to imply that anybody's at the bottom. Obviously, still top 40, a lot of times top 25 in the world. Absolutely not taking anything away from anybody, but when you're looking at overall results,
Akeem, slow it down.
Let's talk about kind of 15th through 20th. Do we have any guys that are going to shake it up? What do you think?
AJ, what are your thoughts? 15 through 22. Who are your guys that are consistently making main events? Like at the back of the pack.
Entire HEP Motorsports team. All those guys on Suzuki's. Right. You got 7 Deuce, Chisholm, and Alex Ray on there.
That's a good team.
Those are all night show guys.
Chisholm's on it too.
All fast guys. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So I mean that's for a quote unquote privateer team. All right. Well, I guess would you consider that a privateer team?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's about as solid as a. Yeah, it is. And I've been seeing some videos of 7 Deuce, and he looks good. Seeing videos of Alex Ray, he looks good. I'm gonna go super slow up this escalator.
Yeah,
Chisholm's always
solid. He made probably almost every 450 main event last year.
Right. And those are all guys too. I think are like right in your class, AJ. Then last year we mixed it up with those guys at damn near every round.
Yeah,
those are the guys that we're battling every weekend.
The one thing I have to avoid is wasting the first 3 or 4 rounds to getting my bike set up.
Yeah, right. Well, I think you're going to be in a lot better position this year for that.
I really think so. Yeah.
I mean, you dealt with air spring issues for the entire season.
I think taking that out of the picture alone is going to really change things.
Oh, and it does something to your head too, because you're not fixated on it.
Right.
That's all I was fixated on. Like
If you look at just the rounds I was at last year, if you look at the amount of time we spent in the pits changing settings on those air forks or chasing whatever we were chasing, man, we spent half our time off the bike changing the air forks. So eliminating that alone should buy you some peace of mind.
And it's just simple, the changes we have to make. Like the little bit that I've ridden, when we have to make a change, we know which way to go. You know, and with air forks, Jason at SGB, super knowledgeable guy. But everybody, or I should say nobody, it seems knows the right way to, because there's a million different ways you can get to one setting. You know what I mean? It's not as simple as, oh, take some air out, put some air in. The Cowie, you had a balance chamber, an inner and an outer chamber. And the combination between all those pressures would alter the way the bike worked. There's a million different things you could do. So I had that set up for years, and I didn't know. I had no idea what to do. I still don't know which one's the inner, the balance, and the outer. 4 years down the road, I couldn't even tell you which one's which. Never mind how much air goes in them. So yeah, thank God for the spring forks. I think that alone, it's such a head game. I mean, we talk about that all day long in this podcast. I'm in a really good place mentally, just knowing that I don't have to worry about that.
Yep. For sure.
We're gonna hit the sprint, right? Whenever we get to it. Sure. You guys have a power up?
I sure do.
Ooh, what do you have?
I'm not going to tell you what I have.
Oh, okay. I won't tell you what I have. Do you want to tell the listeners what we're talking about?
Well, I'll just tell you. I'll tell the listeners what I have. It's an Aero Boost.
Oh, you have an Aero Boost?
I do. All right. So, ladies and gents, top left of the screen for those watching, there's an opportunity to get little power-ups throughout the game when you cross different checkpoints and different milestones. And there's some that aid your drafting ability. There's some that simulate a more aerodynamic person. There's some that drop your weight in the game so that your output propels you forward more, because the whole thing about this game is the amount of power per kilogram of body weight. So there's some that aid in that. And they all do something a little bit different, but have similar effect. Obviously, the goal is to get you to go a little bit faster when you use it. So the one I have right now is the Aero Boost. Makes you a little bit more slippery, a little faster for sprints. And I intend to use it to beat AJ in the sprint setting.
This game, for those of you watching, also replicates drafting. So as we're sitting here, I'm in the draft of AJ and Bryce, so I can pedal, put out a little less output, and still keep with them. It simulates the incline. So right now, top right corner, you'll see 6%. That's actually creating more resistance in my trainer and Bryce's trainer. So,
and if you see on the top left, my wattage number is going up proportionally to my heart rate as we climb this incline, because my actual physical bike there's more resistance on it. Guys, make sure we go straight to the Classique.
I am only having a right to main loop and left to Buckingham.
Well, that sucks.
Go left right into Buckingham.
No, I don't think that's the sprint though, but I'll try.
No, all right, right to main loop.
Right to main loop? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go right to main loop, and then we'll turn around and we'll go to right to Classique.
Okay. I don't know why it's not giving me that option. It didn't last lap either.
Weird.
Let's see, where did it put me here? Yeah, so I don't even know where I'm going.
That's all right. We're all going with you.
Oh. So now what
we're gonna do is turn around in a minute.
Okay. I'm gonna turn around now since it's a hill.
Sure. Turn around. I don't know how to turn around in this game. I got it.
Okay, now going to Classique. Got it.
Yep, Classique. Cool. I said I don't know how to turn around. I don't very often use my laptop for this, but for the sake of recording it, I am, and controls are a little bit different.
Now, should we rat AJ out? Should we tell the audience?
Don't be giving my secrets away.
Oh,
Don't
God,
give
no.
my secrets away.
No, we'll keep him innocent for now. It depends. If he does well on the sprint, I might have to throw him under the bus.
Yeah. If he beats us, we'll tell him why he's cheating.
No. He's not cheating.
It's not cheating.
He's not cheating no more than you're cheating.
That's true.
We're not gonna get into that, folks. It's all legit.
It's all about getting a workout.
All right, 250 class. West Coast.
Man.
The only person I know for sure that's doing it is Catanzaro, but Catanzaro would be my pick anyway. Yeah, he'd be my pick anyhow. I feel like
Jordan Smith.
Yeah, I mean, what about McElrath? I don't know.
Didn't he get called up?
I don't know.
Isn't he racing 450?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I would think McElrath would be definitely going for the title in 250. If I had to guess. I think Catanzaro is in a position to win that championship 2 years in a row. He lost by 2 points each year. There's no way he doesn't win it this year. I would put all of my money on him, unless some fluke injury happens.
All of your money on Adam Catanzaro.
Yeah, it's not much, but we'll put it on him.
Okay. I'm with that.
I like that.
I just love his style, too. And I like Adam as a person.
Yeah, real nice kid.
Well, I guess I really don't know who's riding which coast is the problem, but I mean, Davalos, kid's always fast.
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, he's been one to. How many years has he been pro? He's never been able to put a season together.
True.
Is Josh Hansen riding this year?
I don't know. I don't know.
It kind of seemed like he was, but I don't know.
I would be very surprised if he was.
If he was, okay.
Bryce, I'm slowing down a bit.
Okay.
But you can do whatever. I mean, we're not going to work together on the sprint.
Are you hitting it or are you not? What if your crank blows off?
It might. Can you hear it?
I'm going to apologize in advance for the panting that's going to ensue because this is. Yeah. I'm going to ramp up a little bit.
Wait, you are?
Well, yeah. Right. Got to get a little run in at it.
All right, I'm going to pull my mic away from my face a little bit.
Me too. I started way too early. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh!
Same.
Okay. He makes me slow. Okay. AJ.
Yeah, right. All right, I'm telling everybody. I started way too freaking early.
Tired after that one.
Got too antsy.
And I didn't even get the green jersey.
All right, Akeem, why don't you tell everybody? I can't let that slide.
I mean, it's just another day. No, so the difference is my trainer is not a smart trainer, which catch a lot of flack for, but we've all seen the problems the smart trainer gives you. But no. Mine does not. You explain it. You'd be better at explaining it.
Well, this is me just being spiteful.
It's all right.
So in Zwift, you are allowed to use a typical trainer that does not simulate gradient and resistance. It relies instead on your rear wheel speed without simulating resistance, which is what AJ is on. Akeem is on. AJ has had some smart trainer issues unrelated to the trainer, but more related to his in-home internet connection. So let's catch our breath, and then I got another topic.
Ooh. $10-1. That might be the fastest I've ever gone on here.
Were you guys drafting? Uh-oh, we lost AJ. Oh, man. I've had a little bit of chance to recover now.
I just ate popcorn.
Yeah.
Sitting to watch the movie.
That's my excuse.
Yeah.
What did we end
all
up?
that popcorn.
I got. Right,
Well, we were definitely top 10 out of, I don't even know how many, a lot.
Yeah,
I was second.
and I think I was third.
AJ, Akeem was a second with an asterisk. I'm going to point that out.
Oh yeah, we said if he beat us that we would tell everyone why he's cheating.
Right. So back to Supercross for a second while we make this round about again. I want to tell you, outside of riders, and this is specifically to AJ Catanzaro, what do you think about track design this year? What would you like to see? I mean, even if you just had a wish list. Last year we saw bikes go into the netting, for better or for worse. So you could argue that it helped if whoever was on the other side of that netting, but it delayed a race pretty significantly. I forgot what round that was.
Oh,
right?
somebody was stuck in it for a while.
Yeah, that was
right.
I think it was Dallas.
Yeah, I forgot about the netting.
So any track design wish list, even if you won't get them, you'd like to see?
Well, I think
because you've been
good.
critical to the tracks. You've been known to be a little critical. So I want to hear it.
Okay, so the reason I'm critical is because I don't think the tracks have been designed in the past 5 to 7 years to really go along with the development of the bikes or the riding technique for that matter. I think we're riding the tracks too fast for what they are right now, and the transitions really aren't built properly. I think bigger, smoother transitions, even though that equals bigger jumps where we would be maybe quadding stuff instead of tripling, I think ultimately it's still more safe. I think what gets the riders hurt is when you have these wacky transitions that, like, it just makes for very uncomfortable, dangerous situations. And when you see people going down, that's usually why. So that gets frustrating to me. I think the netting is good because the netting means more bowl turns. There's nothing worse than those flat turns that they would build.
Yeah.
Like, just god awful. I think with how fast these bikes are, avoiding Box Hill here, going left to Classique. With how fast the bikes are now, and not just 450s, the 250s as well, the tracks have to flow better. They can't be so stop and go like they used to be, and notchy, and I don't know. I mean, everyone has their own opinion, but I can tell you that in the past 4 or 5 years, there's been very few tracks that everyone's liked. I'd say more often than not, everyone is complaining that the tracks aren't built right. So it's tough. I know those guys work their butts off, but I think things can be altered to work a little bit better. And I don't feel that they listen to the riders as much as they should. I think they build what they want to build, and if we don't like it, then tough shit. And
so this is more a critique of the physical implementation of the design more than it is Ricky Carmichael sitting in a room thinking of how to hurt people, right?
Right. It's not the track map, so to speak. You look at something on a track map and it's fine. But when it's built and the way it's built, that's what makes the difference. One little transition being built improperly can make all the difference in the world. And when riders complain about it, they don't seem to care. If 7 of the top guys are complaining about the transition of a jump, and all it takes is they go out and fill in something a little bit, that's what should be happening. So, I don't know. I mean, they listen sometimes. Like if a triple's too big for all the 250s to clear, they'll dumb it down a little bit. I think they're good about that. But a little bit more should be done than what it's. Our lives are on the line, really. I don't think it should be taken as lightly. Who's the orange dot back there? Brett,
That's me. Had some technical difficulties, which I was just going to edit out of the video.
I mean, that's fine. Hey, AJ, I'm spinning around, going back up to Classique.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it's not creating a full loop. For me, at least.
Same.
Bryce, you could spin around right now.
I'm spinned.
You're spinned. But I think that's a good question. And the crappy thing is, it's so hard to tell by looking at the track maps to even get an idea of what it's going to be like. You really don't know until you step foot in that stadium.
Right.
And even then, I understand those poor Dirtworks guys are worked so hard. And they go from venue to venue, the same guys traveling across the country, hopping in the machines and building something else. And it's very difficult without getting on the bike and knowing what's going to work and what isn't.
So who could be the liaison? I mean, like Carmichael gets out there and he rides the tracks. I mean, there's guys who must get on these tracks and have a feel for it. No, is there not a liaison that could communicate this properly and get some?
Since his retirement, Trey Kennard has kind of taken up that spot, so to speak. He's kind of like the voice of the riders to try to make these tracks more safe. And I like Trey a lot. He's an awesome, amazing guy. I just haven't seen anything really being done. And I think he's a little bit too good to go. He's too friendly with those guys. So my fear there is that he wouldn't speak up if something was wrong. And second of all, he's not actually out there riding anymore. So for him to look at it, it's hard to be that judgment.
Right.
It's tough. It's tough because ultimately everyone rides the same track, but it wouldn't affect anything other than make it more safe for us if things were just changed every once in a while when they needed to be changed.
Yeah, but I could also see, not that I disagree with you, but I like to play devil's advocate, talk and kind of speak for the average fan and say, well, okay, why not adapt your riding style to the track? You know, you guys are supposed to be the best in the world. There's got to be an element of rider skill that's coming into play. So give me your rebuttal of that to somebody who says, no, it's not the track, it's you. What are some specifics?
So that's a good point. My argument to that would be that we're going to do it anyway. We're going to jump these things regardless of how crappily they're built. So why not make it a little bit more safe? Because if all the riders had a truce and said, all right, this quad is super dangerous, let's not jump it. Yeah, that'd be great. The problem is 2 guys are going to jump it. Next thing you know, everyone's got to jump it. And it's not that I don't want them to dumb things down by any means. But if a little square edge can be filled in, something like that, just to make it that much more safe, I think it should be. All right, I'm going for this.
Okay.
Are you guys?
I mean, I guess I will if you are, sir.
Yeah.
I don't have a power up. What am I going to do? Oh my God. I don't have a power up. I'm gonna go slower this time than I did last time. Yeah. Damn. I gave up.
9-9. Ow. Whew.
Those power ups are critical.
9-9. That's quick.
Yeah. That's.
Took my green jersey.
Did you have the green jersey before that?
No, I think that one guy quit who wasn't first originally or whatever. I'm still in second.
Holy crap. All right. Slow to like 1.
Yep.
Oh. I went real early. I'm going to mute my mic for a second. Okay. I'm trying not to breathe too heavy in everyone's ears. I went super early.
Lower your
and I had
mic. Or move it away from your face.
Better?
Yeah.
I had an aero boost. And I was going to give up on myself. But then I saw my ETA said 9. And I couldn't give up. It's hard to recover.
Yeah. I wish I had an aero boost. Because I definitely hit like the main segment. Like where it is actually timed harder that time. But I looked at my miles per hour. I was like, damn it. I saw my ETA is 11. I was like, well, that's not happening.
Yeah, if my ETA said 10, I would have even given up. But it said 9. So
there's definitely an art. There's an art to timing those things.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who are watching and following along and are new to this, there's definitely an art between, getting the timing right from where it actually starts timing you to using your power up at the right place. You want to come in with enough run-in speed, but still have some power for when it counts, which is my mistake the first time. I used it all up before I got into the time segment like an idiot.
So it's a 10-second segment, but ultimately you're pedaling hard for 30 seconds, right?
Yep.
You're pedaling ridiculously hard for about 15. You pretty much are using the power up right before you get into it. At least that's what I do. When are you hitting yours?
I hit it. Well, so I think the arrows and the drafts are 30 seconds a piece. I think 20 or 30. So the first time when I had one, I did not have one that time. The first one I used pretty much, I think I might have used it like right before the arch.
Coming by you now.
In the arch.
Yeah, it's very tricky to time that right. That time, I went what I thought was too early. But once I saw my ETA, I just kind of didn't want to give up on it.
All right.
But
so we won't make mention of how you're cheating. But I'm the only legit motherfucker in this place.
I have a ghost in my apartment.
Nah, I'm only kidding. It's just me hating.
AJ, how did that one go for you?
I definitely did not sprint.
Oh, you didn't go for it?
No. Oh. I'm like 50 miles in. I'm shot.
Wow, you are. 47.7. Look at you.
I'm out of water. That's my biggest thing.
Go get water.
Shoot.
All right, so let's kind of wrap up the Supercross talk by getting specific to your program, AJ. You want to speak to everybody about what you have in store for A1? Like, you've told us you're going out there, you got some days on the bike. You want to let everybody know kind of where you're at, and without getting too specific, you don't want to give away any secrets, but kind of give everyone an update on where you're at and what your program's looking like.
Yeah, so this year has actually been pretty darn awesome as far as getting my program together. With the help of Vortex, they're supplying me with a brand new Sprinter van, all wrapped up nice and pretty. Mike over at Mototape is one of the title sponsors. Mike's actually going to be driving the van around from round to round. That way I can fly in to the races and don't have to drive during the week, which is nice. Federal Hill Home Theaters is back on board. I also have title sponsors for each one of the rounds, which for a privateer like me, I think I spoke about this before. It's pretty huge, and a lot of people investing their time and money into me are small businesses. So who's heavy breathing there? Is that you?
Might be me. I didn't think I was.
No, you got the mic up in your nose or something. Anywho, it's a lot of small businesses. So to keep it local, to have these companies as a title sponsor just for one round where they're local, I think is hugely beneficial to them. Obviously, it's worked out amazing for me going into this season. So from a financial standpoint, January 1, I'm sitting better than I ever have. Not as much seat time as I would have liked, but you got to find that balance, because last year I had the opposite problem where it was a ton of seat time, but I didn't put any of my resources into getting sponsorship on board. So a lot of corners were cut, and I think a lot of important corners were cut, unfortunately. So this year, just kind of going at it with a different mindset, a lot more relaxed. Just kind of gonna go out and have some fun with it. Fly out first thing tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., meeting my brother out at Milestone. Just gonna probably ride some outdoors the first day, get comfortable. I think last year I just put too much expectation on myself, really. And this year I'm just gonna go have fun. And you can sound like a broken record. I know it's cliche, but when I have fun with it, when I throw whips, when I'm not worried about what's going on, that's when I ride my best, plain and simple. I think everyone can attest to that.
Yeah, you clear your head, take the pressure off yourself. And I think, circling back to the beginning of this episode, I think that's where Tomac is going to really struggle. And I think, and it's not a criticism of Tomac in particular. I think it's just an observation of anybody who's in the position that he's in. The pressure's on. It's his to lose. And I think he knows that. I think a lot of people are very well aware of that. And
do you think Anderson might have that same mindset, though, coming off the championship? The pressure of defending
if I were
the title?
If I were Anderson, I'd be riding a wave of confidence. And I'm not him, but if I were, I also would not be able to get out of my head that what did Tomac win? 9 rounds last year? And
right.
Anderson won 3, 2. So, it could work one of two ways. Say, you need to be consistent to win a championship, and first places, while they're awesome and what you're striving for, it's not going to win you the championship necessarily. So you got to be there the whole season. But it's also, we could get into his head, say, man, like, if Tomac comes out hard and sets the tone early, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for everyone. I think A1 is going to be more critically important this year than in any year in the past because of the stakes that are so high, with specific regard to people's mental states. It's like, right. If Tomac comes out swinging, sets the tone, it's going to give him a wave of confidence to ride into the following rounds and set doubt in everybody's mind and say, okay, Tomac is on fire. He's coming off of outdoor win championship. On the flip side, if he cracks and he leaves himself exposed, I think people are going to see that he's a human being and he's fallible, and we could get him in championship.
Which is
anybody's.
Exactly what happened last year. I think if Tomac hadn't crashed at A1 and had run away with that, like he was pulling away, I think the championship would have been a totally different story, right?
Right.
But instead, he left the door open, kind of hurt himself. Next thing you know, 4 or 5 people are like, wait a second, this championship's wide open. So it really does. It all boils down to
one might actually say that they caught him with his pants down.
Makes me think of that whatever that voiceover Instagram was. Moto Dubs, what was it called? The Mark Luskin interview. Rock to the back.
Yeah.
My favorite interview of all time. All right, well, I'm 40 miles in. AJ's 50 miles in.
Hey, good for you, AJ.
Yeah, nice. Way to start the new year, huh?
Got to get back on it.
You got a pocket full of ride-ons, too.
Bulging.
You're bursting
nice
at the
bulge.
Oh, no. Anything we missed? Anything else?
Who's redshirt for you for the season? Jason's taken all the West Coast, or
That's a loaded question.
Okay.
Whoever we can get there, really. So Jason at SGB suspension will be the first 3, and then after that, it's going to be a combination of trying to get AJ to them, trying to get my old mechanic Jeremiah Ellis to as many as he can get to. Basically, seeing who's available for what my cheapest options are for that given weekend. I think between AJ, Jason, and Jeremiah, they're 3 people I'm extremely comfortable with. So it's a win-win. It's not a stranger that's coming and wrenching on my bike. If AJ's there, unless something drastically goes wrong, I mean, AJ, you can do everything that really needs to be done, short of me blowing up a motor, and then.
We made it last year, so we'll do it again.
Right. Yeah, so we'll be just fine. I would love to plan it out earlier, but that's it's a bit of a tough one. It's me waiting to see whose flights are going to be the cheapest and who's available when. And at least the good news is I'll always have somebody there with me. Where a lot of privateers, believe it or not, don't have that luxury. A lot of them are pushing their bike up to the line by themselves. So At least I'm not in that boat.
So now that we've had this conversation, kind of digested some of these things, let's lock it in. Little gentleman's bet.
Okay.
Top 5. Kat, you go first.
Top 5. Just at A1, correct?
A1.
All right, I'm going to go Anderson 1. Roxon 2, Muskin 3, Barsha 4, Tomac crashes somewhere but gets 5th.
Wow. Tomac crashes out.
No,
Okay.
crashes hard enough to get a 5th.
Oh, I thought you said crashes. Okay, so
No.
crashes in for 5th. Okay. and just a sweetener, whole shot?
Whole shot.
Main event whole shot.
Barsha.
Barsha main event whole shot. Okay.
Yep.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
All right,
What
Whitty.
about-
You.
All right. Oh, you can't bet against Tomac. Tomac's got to have the win. And then I'm going to go change it up and go Anderson, Muscan, Barsha. That 5th place. I'm gonna stick with Plessinger. I'm gonna put him up top
Wow.
again.
Wow.
And a whole shot, I'm gonna say Bogle, just because if it's any reflection of outdoors, I'm gonna say he's got his starts down.
Okay. All right.
I don't think that's a dangerous scenario, and I'm pretty much with you. I think Tomac's going to take it. I'm going to switch up the order. I'm going to think. Did you say Anderson second, or did you say Muskin second?
Yeah. No, I think it said Anderson second.
Okay. I think it's going to be Tomac, Muskin, Anderson. 1, 2, 3.
Good guess.
4th and 5th. I think Barsha 4th. In 5th, I think you guys are going to think I'm crazy for this, but this is just wishful thinking. I'm going Chad Reed, 5.
Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
Right?
And whole shot.
I wouldn't argue
Whole
Reed
shot.
for the whole shot either, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know what? As you said that, I'm debating Reed for the whole shot, but I'm going to go a little safer. And I'm going to say, damn, I'm tempted to say eat Tomac with a whole shot. I'm tempted to, but I mean, if my life were on the line right now, I'm thinking Anderson whole shot.
All right, that leaves me with one last question. Top privateer. Top rookie, Plessinger or Savachi?
Oh. I'm gonna say Plessinger. Yeah, Plessinger too. Just consistency and history
Is that who you
alone.
picked as well, Bryce?
Yep.
Okay, I picked Savachi.
Okay.
Just based completely on his Monster Cup performance. If he rides anything like he did at Monster Cup, he's going to be a total beast. But then again, that could mean nothing.
Yeah.
I logged off. By the way. I'm foam rolling at the moment.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to round out this conversation and then be done with the Zwift thing.
I think that about covers it.
Yeah, I think so.
Solid 40 miles. I got to wake up nice and early tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Well, let this be the sign off. We wish you the best for this season. I think you're gonna main event out of the semis. That's my call.
Wait, are there semis this year?
I mean,
no, there's not.
Heats. Of course, I meant heats. You're main out of a heat.
Right out of the heat. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Why not you? That's my philosophy. Why not you? Don't make it easy for anybody else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Make them work for it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. All right, well,
boys.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with us as we experiment with this. This might be something we bring to a consistent level, if anybody's interested in it. And what I think is cool is the races on here. They get really competitive, really intense, and if we can figure out a way to not breathe so damn heavy, it might be worth watching. I know plenty of people do it. Maybe we just won't use headsets or something. So we appreciate you tuning in. Interested to hear some of your thoughts on the season. So prior to Saturday night, why don't you shoot us over your thoughts, questions, comments to questions.catpodcast@gmail.com. Let's see where you guys stand. Could also throw it out to AJ on his Instagram or our Cat Podcast Instagram, which is that back up?
No, I don't know what happened to it.
Okay. Technical difficulties with the Instagram account, but working through it. Instagram is being funny. So reach out to us. Let us know your thoughts. Comment on the video. Let us know what you think. If you can't stand the sound of my voice, well, too bad. I'm the co-host for life. Thank you, AJ Whitrock, for joining us. We wish you luck this season, assisting AJ.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for tuning in.
All right, boys. Toodaloo.
All right.
See ya.
Adios.
Thank you guys.